Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion. Join my boy Omega,
What's going on, y'all?
and today we are back on the Post Game, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Post Game. Today we are going to talk about um, Myers Park High School. It's crazy, man. We're switching it up, going to some high school basketball. One of the top ranked team in the country. And yeah, today we are going to start off. We're going to talk about Myers Park High School basketball, man. They are one of the most underrated, in my opinion, one of the most underrated teams in the country. From defense point of view, from the locker room, from the players, from coaching, they're all underrated, and no one is talking about this team enough. So this past week, Myers Park went down to the coast of North Carolina and played
Oh, yes.
two games. They played against John Marshall, who were ranked at the time, I think, fourth in the country.
Yeah.
And they played Word of God, who's also a relatively decent team as well in the state. But yeah, so starting off with that John Marshall game, Myers Park, they're ranked 12th in the country going into this game. Their first game back with Sir Muhammad, and they go in and beat John Marshall for 64 to 58. So before I get into the stats, what was your initial reaction after seeing they went and won this game?
I ain't gonna lie, it surprised me. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was gonna come off shaky because it was Sir's first game back and he coming off that. I think he had a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
He had it wrapped up, and hey, boys came out with the dub, man.
So when you look at it, man, they Bishop Boswell 20 points, Shadeep 19 points, 9 rebounds, Sir 11 points, 11 rebounds in his first game back from
Oh
I
yeah.
think he dislocated his shoulder, and then Jacob as well, coming off the not coming off the bench, but coming 11 points, shooting 3 of 5 from three, and honestly, he's becoming such a really good 3 and D player.
Oh yeah.
See, like I mean, we've been watching this team for years now, and we've seen where he has come from. Jacob, I mean, last season he was a little undersized, so he couldn't really like roll with the big guys. But man, he's gained muscle. He's worked on his jump shot a lot, and
He's shooting that ball too.
he's becoming one of my favorite players to watch. And he's becoming a really really good three and D player. Like just look at him. I mean, just consistency all around from him.
Oh yeah.
And so when you look at this team, something that I respect the most is how good they are on defense.
Oh yeah.
Um, and we're gonna talk about some of these. We're gonna break it down with all these players as well in a second. But when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they Myers Park and especially from the coaching staff, Coach Taylor, Coach Jones, they pride themselves on being a scrappy defensive team, and they talk about this thing like it's a family, man, because it is a family.
Oh yeah.
I feel we feel a part of the family,
Oh
like
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
for sure. And so it's like when we look at this team, like defensively, going in, out of your own city, away from home, and stopping the fourth best team in the country. When you
Oh yeah.
don't know what's going to happen, when you don't know how Sir's going to fit into a lineup, when you don't know how X, Y, or Z is going to happen, that's big, man, for me, in my opinion. So let's talk about Shadeep. Was he 6'8", 6'9", something like that?
This guy's
But
still.
I mean, he's becoming one of the better players in the country, um, especially in the state. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, for sure.
and the state of North Carolina isn't being talked about enough as a basketball state when it comes to high school.
Oh,
I mean, we got some shooters here.
oh yeah.
We got some
I
shooters
think
here,
we got
man.
the best basketball players come out of the whole world. You ask me. North
Hey,
Carolina, that's just me. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
I'm right there with you.
Hoop state, my guy.
And so you're looking at it, and so when it comes to Sadiq, last season we saw Elijah Strong was still here,
Oh yeah,
but and so you see him almost take a backseat role a little bit. But you look
facts.
at it now and it's like he's elevated to that point, to that fame, I would say, with all humbleness and with grace and
Oh yeah,
humility. And he's just plugged himself right into this team. And
oh
and
yeah.
this team flows through everybody. Something that I'm very impressed by this team is that like they are a team that is easily coachable.
Oh yeah.
There's no egos on this
No
team.
egos at all.
There's no egos, and everyone buys in. Because if you don't, you will not play. And in my opinion, that's how it should be.
That's how
They're
it
a
should
defensive
be.
team. They're very coachable, and they all buy in and leave their egos at the door.
Oh
They're a
yeah.
family. And that is what I love to, and that's what I love so much about basketball. That's what I love so much about this team in particular is because like no matter who they have to match up against, no matter who's hurt, Server's out for the first 3, 4 games.
Yeah,
But
first
look,
two.
look,
Yeah, first two games.
but look what happened. He leaves, comes back, and plugs right back into the offense.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't even talked about the Word of God game yet. We haven't even talked about it. So speaking of it, Word of God. I mean, you know them a little bit more than me. What do you know about this team?
I know that they're not a public school. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And like I know from a few years they had some good talent on their team. So I don't really know about their team this year, but
Yeah.
I know that past year they done had some good talent on their team. They ranked nationally in North Carolina. So
Yeah. So it's crazy looking at it. It's like so. Word of God. They. I'm not gonna say the score yet because I want to hold off. But going into halftime, Myers Park was up 24-17. And it didn't look like it was a shaky game whatsoever. Just a very flat game. They played the night before,
oh yeah.
so they're definitely just trying to wake up and figure it out. I'm gonna say this: the score. Myers Park won the game 60-27. That means they only let up 10 points in the second half. So
10 points.
to me, that's
10 points.
that's the epitome of a defensive team. They realize that they scored too many already. We got to stop this. We got to stop this.
Mm.
And so let me read off the stats. Sir came in 15 points, 9 rebounds, serviceable.
Oh yeah.
Sadiq came in 10 points, 7 rebounds, serviceable. Bishop 9 points, 7 rebounds, serviceable. To me it's like and here's the big one. I said this name in the first game, but Jacob came in 15
Yeah.
points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot it effectively.
Oh yeah.
He is becoming a consistent name on the stat line. He's becoming a consistent name when it comes to this team, and that's what you want. That's what you want. That like whenever one man goes out, what is it? Next
He's
man
the
up.
next man to step up. You know what I'm saying?
And he's stepped up so much this season,
Oh
and
yeah.
and and so and it's crazy that because we've been to a couple games now. We went to the Chambers game, we watched them play Combine Academy, and in my opinion, I know they beat Chambers at home, very hostile
Yes.
environment. They got into some early foul trouble, and I think other than that, I mean that was a coach heavy game.
Oh yeah.
How are you gonna who
If
when are you gonna put Sadiq back? Go ahead.
if you ask me, that game wasn't supposed to be close. If Sadiq don't get in foul trouble, they not sticking with them at all.
100% agree.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
to that point, you look at the Combine Academy game. They only lost by 3, and they didn't have Sir.
Sir didn't play.
Didn't play a minute.
It was the first game of the season, so I want to see what happened last year, first game of the season. It was, I'm saying just starting off a little rough, but
Last year, they lost their first game of the season, went on to win a state championship and be nationally ranked. This
hey,
year, they barely lost their first game of the season to a nationally ranked team.
with good players on that team too.
Story's not over. Story's not over. But when I tell you is that this team right here is the making for a great team. It's the making for a national team that should be talked about. This team right now should be ranked top 15. No, no, no. Let me rephrase that.
Top 10, top five. You ask me.
Top 10, top 5, you ask me as well. And so and I'm here for it. I'm going to as many games as I can.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
cheering as loud as I can because this team deserves it. This team is one that I'm buying in for.
Oh yeah.
Familyhood. That's
I,
what goes around
hey,
Myers Park.
that's all it is. And if you ask me, I like seeing a team with all that talent and they know how to play together.
Yeah.
Without, like you said, without big egos, without all that big head and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They know how to play. They talk to each other out there on the
Yep.
floor. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Taylor and Coach Jones and them, they do a good job with them boys.
Absolutely. And you make a valid point. It's not that we all have big egos and that we just magically play together because we have to, but they get along. They like each other. This is
Oh
a
yeah.
team that is a family. And I know I'm repeating myself, family this, family that, because that's what this is. That's
Oh
what this
yeah.
team is, and that's what this team wants to go. They want to
Mustangs,
be,
baby.
yeah. And To get ready to wrap this up, man. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited
Oh
to
yeah,
see where
for
they go.
sure.
What 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 do you think needs to? What do you think the next moves are over the next couple of weeks? They have Paul. Who is it? They have
Hey,
Paul.
they have Paul. I believe Paul the sixth
Yeah, Paul. Yeah,
up there in DC, DC or
Virginia.
Maryland. I
Yeah,
believe
yeah, yeah.
they play at the Mather up there in Maryland. That's another top five team in the nation. That's gonna be a tough game for them. But I don't know what Paul roster looking like, but they ranked top five, top 10, I think. So not no pushover, no slouches. So
Yes. I mean, so listen, we seeing this, and we're seeing Myers Park become a team that they win a national championship, or not a national a state championship, and they don't sit back and play sorry teams.
oh no,
They go fill their schedule up to play some of the better teams in the country, some of the best teams in the country.
yes sir.
That's
Yeah.
championship mentality.
I'm not sure when the next home game is, but I know they on a road trip right now. So
Yeah, I think they'll be on the road and until January 3rd. They are on the
Woo.
road. So enjoy this long month of road trips. I think they have a tournament December 27th. But hey, when they're home, we're back in there.
Back in the
We'll
stable,
be back in
baby.
there. So any final thoughts on this Myers Park Mustangs team?
None. They just gotta keep playing hard, keep playing D. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's get this boat rolling, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, I'm right there with you. Keep playing
I'm
defense.
excited, my guy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
keep
like this
playing
game.
defense. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your cool. Don't mess around and don't do anything dumb. Just go
Yeah.
ahead, do your job. Hey, and the sky's the limit for this team, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Well, listen, any of you might ever heard Mustangs fans, high school basketball fans, let us know how you feel about what we just talked about. I've been your host, Davion. That's been my boy Omega, and this has been the post game. Peace.
Yes, sir.